Hello, my name is Aaron Babcock. Welcome back to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you like these videos. So I'll be sharing some more books to add on to your Patriotic American History Library, or book reports, essays, and book reviews. So I hope something catches your interest today. So these two videos that I'm sharing are on remanufacturing the 1900s of American industry and industrial and farming products. So we have Automobiles of the World by this person, Joseph H. Wherry, Wherry, and we have the Mercedes-Benz history coming out of Germany, which inspired a lot of the steam engines through Europe and America. And there was an economic boom with in the 1920s with Henry Ford, as you know. And so we move on up to date. We have the commercial driver's guide for CDLs, how to drive semis and larger commercial vehicles. And we have classic farm tractors, history of the farm tractors. This is a really good book on farming. You get lots of different kinds of tractors, and it's a really good book to have. There is a war against small farms and gardening coming out of Oregon. They're trying to shut down all the small businesses, and they use different tactics of environmentalist issues like water and things like that. And it's really horrible what they're doing, shutting down all the farms. We've had a lot of food processing plants go on fire the last few years, and it's been a really bad idea to shut down all the farms. So I have this 1902 history book on irrigation farming by Wilcox. It's a really good book to have. It's all on irrigation. So on some infrastructure, lately we had the Francis Scott Keys Bridge in Baltimore collapse. So in honor of the bridge that took a long time to build, we have this great bridge of the Brooklyn Bridge. And there was a lot of dark days in those days as well when they were building this. It took 6 to 7 years to build. And so in honor of Francis Scott Keys Bridge, let's be inspired by the other bridges that are in America. We have the Golden Gate Bridge over in San Francisco, in Oakland area, in California. We have the Lewis and Clark Bridge and the Bridge of the Gods on the Columbia River in Washington State and Oregon State. And there's many bridges across America that are really awesome. So we can all be inspired by them, and let's remanufacture bridges across America. And same with the railroads. They always need work. As they showed up in the 1800s, you have the Santa Fe Railroad, you have the Transcontinental Railroad, and those are great history books as well. Stephen Ambrose is a great author of many history books, and this one's called Nothing Like This in the World. Like it in the world. It's on the Transcontinental Railroad. And then we have this Marshall by Random House on the Santa Fe Railroad. There's a great story about Fred Harvey, who set up the first hotels and restaurants along the Santa Fe Railroad as an underdog and made it big, because people were tired of eating from train crews. It wasn't very good hygiene to eat from the train crews. So he built nice, clean hotels with very beautiful women and set them all along the railroad area. So moving on, we have the Spirit of St. Louis. This is about Charles Lindbergh. He was the first American to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. 4,600 miles from New York to Paris. And we have Amelia Earhart, the first woman to cross the Atlantic. And she was attempting to go all the way around the world, and she made it almost all the way, she passed away in the Pacific Ocean, and she hasn't been found yet. And so I was going to show you some helicopter history a little bit. Helicopters go back to 500 BC in China with bamboo copters, and then Leonardo da Vinci did a air screw, which was a very interesting inspiration towards developing helicopters in the future. Little by little over time, there's a lot of history of helicopters, and it's a great history to learn about. But I think some of the great things about helicopters, how many things like the Coast Guard rescue stories ever told, using the helicopter has been a great thing over the ocean. I think that's a really awesome history to learn about, because saving lives is always good. And the Huey, during the Vietnam War, about 20,000 Hueys were manufactured at once. They made more later on, but that was a big start of that industry. And during the evacuation of the fall of Saigon, it was the largest evacuation in history using helicopters. And so with all the brave heroes during Vietnam War and helicopters, I think all the stories are important, and it would be a great task to learn all the hero stories. And it's very important to know all that. So, those are some of the books I'm sharing with you. I believe if we remanufactured the automobiles of the 1900s, and the trucks, and the helicopters, and the planes, USA made and stayed, stamped in the USA, our country would do very well. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy part 2 coming up soon. Thank you very much.